So I'm going to say a few words to add to what I said already about the Mahayana. That we have people now who have stepped forward to make a commitment to the Mahayana for a year. And the idea of that year is to really experience what it's like to stand as a Mahayana Ghanaian, to check that you've understood that, what that really means, and that you're ready to make a commitment, a permanent commitment to the Mahayana. So you've, in a sense, you're pretty sure that's what you want to do, but this is just it's just that last safety net to just give you a chance, and us a chance to check out how it's going to work. So the question sometimes arises as to, well, what does it mean to make a permanent commitment to the Mahayana, and why is that important? I can have that commitment in myself. Why would I need to make that publicly? What is the benefit of that? And there's a benefit, as there always is, when you make a commitment, you make a vow. It kind of sets your course very strongly. Obviously, nobody really knows what the future is going to hold, so it's not as if you have to sit down and think of all the possible circumstances in which you might find there's some conflict or tension with what's happening in your life. Let's put those aside at the moment. And what is your intention, and what is your sense of your life's direction now? And how would you like other people to think of your commitment? I think sometimes people don't realise, if I don't actually speak out my permanent commitment, people would be quite entitled to think I'm not really committed, and I might then feel, well, a bit offended. Well, why am I not being counted as somebody who's committed? Well, you didn't ever give any commitment, so why would anybody assume that you were? And from the point of view of the teacher, as well as the other more committed students in the Sangha, they need to know who they can address as somebody as committed as they are. You can't talk to every member as if they owe you some kind of commitment to the Sangha beyond what they've already agreed to before they really know what it is like to be a member of this Sangha. But once you've been a member for a period of time and had enough experience in that as a member, and decided that yes, I'm ready to stand for this Sangha, then you want other people to know that. And the leadership of the Sangha, myself and the students who are doing the planning and organising of the Sangha, deciding what projects to put on the 5-year plan and so on, we need to know, well, who are the people who are really committed? Who are the people who really understand our values? Who are the people who are really talking to each other? Who are the people who really communicate well together, who could make something work? People we know, and people who've shown over the long term that they are reliable, that they are people, we know them well enough to know how they are to work with and how we work together, and they really do share the same values and so on. So there's a mutuality for the, if you like, for the community or the 5 certainty, the mandala of the 5 centres to work. It takes time, and it takes actual, it's necessary for students to actually make a formal commitment so that everybody can relax. Okay, these people have made this formal commitment. They can be relied upon. They want to be relied on. I think that's a really important point of this, that you want to be trusted, you want to be relied on, you want to be seen as integral to the whole mandala. Therefore, you say so. And sometimes I think people want to keep their options open. They want to kind of hover on the edge, but then they actually also want to be part of what's forming the community without actually making that commitment. And that creates a kind of instability and lack of trust. But whereas if people have made a commitment and they can be held to their commitment, and one can actually stand for something in a very simple way. It makes it simpler, actually, and it makes the dynamic much easier to work with for everybody concerned, including the people who haven't stood to be Mahayana Ghanaians. It's very clear for them that this has happened. And it's also important for the long-term future of the Sangha, because I'm not going to be here forever. And when I pass on, there's going to be a Mahayana Ghana still there who are committed to the whole living a lifetime of practice training, and they'll want it to continue, and they'll want to continue offering it to others. So those students who've shown that commitment and have that strong connection and relationship with each other, who communicate with each other in a very clear way, will be able to come together and support each other to take things forward, to have some cohesion, to carry things forward, and to maintain that vehicle that can carry the adhisthana of the lineage into the next generation. And there may be some question about, well, will any of the senior students be at the stage when I'm gone? Will they be at the stage where they can actually do that transmission completely? Well, you might ask the same question of myself. Am I in a position where I can give that complete transmission? But what we're doing is not trying to measure what level of adhisthana we can transmit, but whether we're transmitting it at all. And if we're transmitting it at all, then it's an open invitation for a teacher who does have the necessary spiritual power to bring that presence of the lineage into the world, can step into that mandala and deliver the teaching, deliver the adhisthana, and it will have a vehicle, it'll have a means, by means of which that can reach out then through the structure of the mandala to new people coming in, the people who've been around for a while, those who are very close to some sort of spiritual realization themselves. So teachers can be invited in. Even now, we have people we invite in from time to time. We used to invite Khenpo Rinpoche when he was travelling. We go and see him. His adhisthana comes in. Vigzin Shikpo's adhisthana, he comes and teaches us, so that comes in because we've created this vehicle. So it's very important from the point of view of the long term, carrying the Dharma into the world now and into the future when it will be a new time, but it's the same place, the same vision, the same teaching, and the same community. Sometimes people feel a little uneasy, thinking, well, how can I commit to a community of people who I've no idea really how that's going to be in years to come? And I think one has to look a little bit carefully about why we're using the word commitment here. I remember a conversation with Sangharakshita once where he said, well, one can only commit to the truth, actually. One only commit to the Dharma, actually, or the living Dharma, the Buddha, actually. You can't commit to anything that's, less than that. So that's one way of using the word commitment, and I think that stands. So obviously, if in decades to come or centuries to come, the Awakened Heart Sangha and the Mahayana Ghana started to represent anything less than what it's supposed to be, then it has to either be reformed or you don't have the commitment to it that you made. You made your commitment to the the Mahayana Gana and the Awakened Heart Sangha as a vehicle for the Dharma coming in the world. If it's not that, then obviously you would have to reconsider. So I don't think you need to worry about, am I committing to something that's corrupted? You would do your best to make sure it's not corrupted. That's why you're becoming a permanent member, to make sure it doesn't get corrupted. If it all goes pear-shaped, well, you'll have to deal with that situation when it comes. You're not committed to something that's corrupt or not true to its central principle, its original purpose. I don't know if that helps with that kind of question.